I'm going to quickly launch a poll, and I want to understand from you how or what kind of impact you have had on your career in 2020. Okay, so there are four options. You could choose one of those depending upon what impact you have had. So that I get to know, and I can understand what is the problem, and then I can kind of share with you some inputs accordingly. All right. So here is the poll for you. Can you quickly um, respond to the poll? Okay, great. So thanks for responding. I will just quickly share the results with all of you. So no appraisals is 50%. That is two of you. One person says job loss, and the other one person says no impact. No problems. Great. So we are going to be talking about no appraisals. If there is a job loss or a pay cut, also I'll give you some strategies, but we'll talk about largely from appraisals perspective, because that is something that most of you have had as an impact. Okay, great. So now I am going to be asking you a few questions to begin with, and then I will also share with you my viewpoints. And the first question is, of course, I asked you what impact was there on your career. You have responded. Now, how are you coping up? So let's say, for example, no appraisals, right? I'm sure that is not a great news for all of us. So what is it that you are doing to cope up? Is there anything that you are looking for, and is that the prime reason why you probably are looking for a job switch or a job change? Let me know what is your strategy of coping up with whatever impact you have had in your career. You could either unmute yourself and talk, no problems, or you could type in the chat box.
Yeah, Amit, Gopinath here.
Please, Gopinath, go
Can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yeah, very, very clearly. Tell me.
Yeah, thank you. It's not only the appraisal cycle, it's the future I'm seeing in the company due to this impact and the aftermath of this impact. There are going to be some changes in the company. That's what I can foresee. So,
Mm-hmm.
based on that, the appraisal is the starting point now.
Mm-hmm.
So, based on the future uh, goal set by the company for the company.
Right.
So, that's what making me to think about the career change.
Okay, no problem. Right. So that is one of the things. So this is so you are looking for a career change to cope up with the no appraisals that have happened that you have this year. Okay, great. So Shrikant says he is upgrading his knowledge. Okay, great. All right. Anybody else? So Shrikant and Gopinath we have heard. Can I hear from Sanjay, Pavni, and Kavirasu?
Hi Amit, Sanjay here.
Yes, Sanjay, go ahead.
Actually, I'm working with one of the MNC, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck since 5 years on same role.
Okay.
So I'm looking for change. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Not getting any
Mm-hmm.
promotions,
Mm.
anything else.
Okay. So Sanjay, this is not the first time you are actually attending my session, right? This is the second time probably.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And if you would have, joined me at that point of time, probably things would have been different. Okay.
Uh, right.
Yeah. No problems. No worries. It's always good to, good that you've come back, and good that you're going to get a lot of things today from here in 24. How do you better yourself in 2021? Great. Pavni, Kavirasu, can we hear you quickly? Okay. So it looks like you guys don't want to. I am going forward with the next, question. So, and I really want you to think and let me know, about this. What lessons have you learned in 2020, or probably in the from the past experiences that you have had? But I think 2020 has been a big teacher for us, for all of us. So, from your perspective, and I'm specifically talking about the career perspective, what lessons have you learned regarding career in 2020? You could unmute or type in the chat box. Perfectly fine.
Uh, this main point is, I can say, accommodate to the various rules which is uh, currently which is available. Maybe I cannot say that I worked on particular XYZ technology and I can only do all that, and I am not flexible for any other opportunities. That
Oh, so you have to
the
be
main
flexible.
reason. Yeah, I have to be flexible. Yeah.
All right, great. Don't lose our opportunity. Opportunities are priceless. Okay, fair, no problems. That is what Kavirasu says. All right, any other lessons that you might have learned? Come on, think. I'm sure one at least you could think of. Okay, importance of health. Yeah, absolutely, very much. But Shrikant, I'm particularly talking in terms of career aspects this time. So yes, of course, importance of health is definitely one of the biggest lessons it has taught us. But how does it relate to? And of course, health is also important for your career, by the way, in the long term. So how do you relate that lesson with your career as such? Okay, to study new skills, absolutely. So you need to keep upgrading yourself. That's a lesson. All right. Okay, so let me share with you my set of learnings that I have had from the from interacting with multiple people, coaching people. I do a lot of coachings for a lot of people, and I help people have 10x success in their career. So here are a few things and which are hard hitting truths that that have come into um, uh, or 2020 has taught. So the first one is career stability is a myth. You all agree to me? There's nothing called as stability in your career or a job or whatever. Things will change.
Definitely.
There are going to be issues. There are going to be problems. There are going to be things that will evolve, right? So stability is going to be a myth, and or it has been a myth all this while, but this year has really taught us that in a very hard way. The second thing is slowing down is superpower. How many of you will agree? Yes, no, maybe. I hope everybody's understood what I want to say when I'm talking about slowing down. Slowing down is about, not being very busy. It's see what happens is we are so busy usually in our day-to-day work that we don't really have time for ourselves. And in the beginning, when there was lockdown, it forced us to slow down. It forced us to spend time with ourselves. And when we spend time with ourselves, most of the people were able to think and do something better in their own lives. Right? Agree? Disagree? So slowing down is superpower, right?
Okay.
Because there new leaders have emerged during this lockdown phase. Is Gopinath you saying something?
No, no, no. Just I think I have not unmuted. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right. Then the third thing, yes, people talked about to study new skills, to learn new, to upgrade yourself. So invest in yourself for others to invest in you. Unless and until you have invested in your own self, people will not be willing to invest in you. That is very, very important to understand. So you can't have keep getting things for free and expect others to pay you for whatever knowledge, whatever skills that you have honed for free. Please understand that. So there are multiple programs which are available for free. There are multiple programs which are there online which you can do, but it's important for you to understand they give you a very basic understanding, and of course it is helping you improve your skills, it is helping you improve your knowledge, no doubt about it. But until and unless you have really invested, and investment has not to be only done in terms of money, it is in terms of your time, in terms of your energy, effort, all of that, right? So a large investment has to go in your own self development so that others are willing to invest in you, and that is a very, very important lesson that we need to take away. Also, the last thing is adversity is opportunity, right? Because there are, like I said, there are multiple people who have really grown in their careers in during this tough times. People either have changed jobs, people have got promotions, people have got really big salary hikes, people have moved out and started there on their own, people have emerged as or made the most of this opportunity and really really gone ahead with from where they were to where they are right now. Okay, so that's the fourth lesson that I have looked at. And these lessons are very hard hitting lessons, and these are something that we need to take away, primarily because if we want to have our breakthroughs in the next year, that is 2021, and we want to make this one of the best years for our career, there is no two things about it that we have to learn these lessons probably the hard way or whatever. If somebody else is teaching you, take it from there, and embrace these lessons so that you are able to eventually make 2021 a great year for your career. Okay, so having said that, let me quickly take this moment to introduce myself. Some of you might know me, some of you might have heard of about me. There are a couple of people who have joined in who had attended my previous sessions, but let me do a quick introduction of myself. So I'm Amit Chilka. I'm a 10x career success coach. I largely do is I catalyze peak performance. So what I help people do is I help people get ahead in their careers. I have worked with over 1,000 professionals worldwide, and I have helped them create strategies, personal career strategies, which have helped them gain a double promotion, 60% plus salary hike. They have Some people have transitioned from their careers, moved out, and started on their own to earn 4 to 5 lakhs lakh rupees a month. So these are the kind of breakthroughs I have been able to create for people whom I have already coached. Now, let me also tell you, by the way, when I talk about these, big achievements or big things that I do right now, in my own career, I have been, in my own career, I have struggled a lot. Um, for over 10 years, I used to put in a lot of effort in my career. And I'm sure most of you are doing it right now, right? There is a lot of effort that everybody is putting in, but you might not be getting the results that you are looking for. And that is exactly what used to happen with me. I used to put in a lot of effort and ultimately get, very small returns. Whereas on the other hand, I used to see people putting in, large effort, I mean, small effort, but still getting larger returns. And why does that happen is something that, I wanted to really find out. After spending 10 years in the corporate, corporates, and, whenever I wanted a promotion, I switched my jobs, right? And I thought probably that is the only way of getting promoted. If you want to grow, you will have to switch jobs, and think of probably 1 or 2 years in that particular organization, and only then you will be able to kind of grow in your career. But then something happened, and I was proven wrong, and I got to know new strategies, new things to talk about, and which I'm going to be talking about today. So quickly, I'm going to take one more minute to talk about that incidents in short. So in my last company where I was working, I it was the first time when the appraisal declaration was happening, and since I had joined in new, I was not expecting a lot of things any which ways. But one of my colleagues was really really upset, and he said that So I went to him and asked him what happened. He said that I am really struggling for last 2 years to get the promotion, and I have not got a promotion. But then there's this guy who I'm really jealous of and who is getting promoted every now and then. I'm like, every now and then? Who's what is every? What do you mean by every now and then? So he said that there is a person in our organization who joined us as a trainee 13 years back. And in 13 years, he has taken 13 promotions to become a director of he's the youngest director in the organization. I was like, how is that possible? We in HR make these policies that 2 years you have to spend in one role, and only then you will be able to, get ahead. How is it that even possible? I don't believe you. He said, okay, you believe or you don't believe, that is the truth, right? So what happened is because I was in HR, I had access to the personal files. I dug through the systems. I found out, and I was shocked to find out that whatever he said was the truth. I'm like, I still couldn't believe myself. So I said, I really need to meet this legend. I need to really, find out what is he doing so differently that every year he gets a promotion and the others, there are so many people out there struggling. And, how is it that only one person, why that favoritism only to that one person? So then, I set up an informal meeting with him. I tried to understand, a few things, and while talking, I got to, I asked him, what is it? What are these secrets? And he kind of shared with me a few things, which I implemented in my own career. And the next 2 years, consecutively, I was promoted. So these are strategies which will definitely work. The only thing is that we don't know about them. And one thing that I got to know from him is that people who grow fast in their careers, they are not lucky. They have a better strategy. That's all. The only difference between the two, the people who are struggling for getting ahead in their careers and people who have not got the results, is only that they have a different strategy. And this different strategy, trust me, is a little radical. It is a little out of the way. People, it's for sometimes it becomes a little unbelievable for people, and this is something that I have experienced myself. But if you have faith in this, it is going to show you the results for sure, right? And the living example is me myself, right? And that is what, after getting those two promotions, I also got to understand, which is one of the part of that strategy, that you need to look at what your true calling is. If you follow what your true calling is, only then you will be able to grow, keep growing in your career. If what you're doing is not your true calling, then obviously things are not going to fall in place. There's going to be conflict that you are always going to have between what you're trying to do, what your career goals are, all of that. So it's important for you to understand that uh, you know uh, these strategies definitely would work, but there has you have to also look at aligning yourself with what you do in life, right? And I'm going to talk about these now, strategies in as into a formula, which is a five step or a five component formula that I have been able to form out of whatever strategies that he gave me. Alright, so if you're excited, if this sounds exciting to you, if you feel that you are at the right place, give me a quick thumbs up or type in a yes in the chat box so that I can go ahead quickly. I need to see the chat box flooding. Yes, no, maybe. Come on, Deepa. It says yes. Only one person. Others, can I have a quick yes or excited in the chat box? So Gopinath give me a thumbs up. Great. Pavni gives me a thumbs up. Shrikant says a yes. Great. So, having told you my story, having told you, there are going to be 5 strategies that I'm going to be talking about. Let us dive into the first strategy. But before that, what I want you to do is I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Okay. And in those 30 seconds, what I want you to do is I want you to look around. Okay. I want you to look for something. I will tell you what that something is. But first, understand what you're supposed to do. I want you to look around. I want you to see in the room that you are or the place you are sitting. Okay. And find how many such instances you find of what I'm asking you to find. All right. So, what I want you to do is I want you to look for the color green and tell me how many objects you can count, and let me know how many objects of the color green you are able to see in your room quickly. So your 30 seconds start now. Gopinath, your 30 seconds are not over, so you still have some more time. Okay, five, four, three, two, one, stop. All right, now tell me. Okay, Deepa says six, Partha says five, Gopinath says four, Shrikant says three. All right, fair. Now, irrespective of how many items or things that you saw as a as how many you are able to count, what I want you to tell me is, in the last 30 seconds, what was your focus on? Was it only on the color green, or was it on other things too? That's my question that I want to understand from you.
But was also other things.
Also on other things, okay? And that's Gopinath, and that is where you were able to find four. Okay. Others, you can unmute yourself and talk, no problems. I would love to hear it from you. Where was your focus? Only on the color green. Great, Patha. Okay. Anybody else? Deepa, Shrikant, both. Okay, fair. Now, let me tell you one thing. Okay. Shrikant says green. All right. Now, when you have your focus on multiple things, see, trust me, there would be a lot more objects of the green color that you would have. And if you have focus on multiple things, you would, your focus will get diverted, and in 30 seconds, that is why you were able to just find out, three, four, five, or six. Trust me, whenever I have done these programs in person, we've had in the same room where people, didn't think, or there were no obvious greens there. People have been able to find out about 16, 17, or 20 odd kind of a number, and they were all there. It's just that you had a laser focus on the color green, and that is why they were able to find it. Also, if you look at, while you still had focus on the other things, your higher concentration was on finding color green. Okay, so while you probably would have noticed few other things, what you were trying to find out in that other thing is the color green. Agree, disagree? Okay, give me a yes or a no in the chat box.
Yeah, agree. Main
Yeah.
focus to find the green. So
Absolutely. So while you had your eyes on something else also, you still were focused on finding green, and that because of which you were able to get those colors, or get the number that you talked about. Great. So it's very important. So it is a very small demonstration that I wanted to do, which will help you understand the first strategy. And the first strategy is your one big thing. What is your one big thing? And see, one big thing is not a goal. One big thing is not about a short term, long term goal. One big thing is about what matters to you the most, right? When I talk about what matters to you in the most, okay, let me ask you this: how many of you have actually decided when you want to retire? Give me a yes or a no in the chat box. If you've decided when you want to retire, and moreover how you want to retire. So the silence tells me that nobody has ever thought of this question, and I'm sure most of you are wondering, why am I asking this question? It's like a question which you don't ask right now. We will think of retirement when we are about the retirement age, most of the times, is what people would say, right? So Gopinath, in 10 years probably is, was it, you just thought of it right now, or you had planned
yeah,
for it?
no, no, no. I had plans for it.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
I had thought of it.
Great. So then I'll ask you a question a little further, dig deeper into it. How do
Okay.
you want to retire? When I say how, what is it that you should have achieved in your career so that you think you can say that, oh, you know what, now I mean, everything is achieved. I can peacefully retire.
Yeah, so what I thought is I should not think that okay later okay I should have continued for some more years in the career to either to satisfy my workaholic or the urge for working, or maybe get the right financial stability
Hmm.
to which
Okay.
supports my
Okay. Great thought. So when you say right financial stability, how much? What is that number that will tell
uh,
you that it is right financial stability?
as of now that is
Thank you. Good that you said. Good that I asked this question. It's important for us to understand. See, and I'm telling you, this is one question I keep asking a lot of people a lot of times. No? When I ask people, I want to earn a lot of. How many of you want to earn a lot of money in their life? Everybody raises their hand. Everybody wants a lot of money. But when I ask them how much is that lot for you? Nobody has that defined answer. If you don't have that defined answer, trust me, you are always on a wild goose chase. Until see something that gets measured gets
Mhm.
achieved. If it is not measured, if it is limitless, if it is unlimited, if it is like as much as I can, see, you could end up having a few lakhs as savings, or you could end up having a few thousand crores as savings. Now, for a person who has a few lakhs is also a lot of money, or for a person who has some thousand crores is also a lot of money, trust me, right? So it is very subjective, and that is why it's important for you to put in a number. And if it is easy, so let's say for example, now Gopinath's example I'm taking right now because he's talked about it. Let's say you want to retire in 10 years with 10 crore rupees as a bank balance, example, right? You could have more, you could have less, it all depends upon you. But when you put 10 crores in 10 years, it is very easy for you to make a calculation and tell you that, okay, in 1 year, 1 crore as savings starting from today. And then you have a reality check whether you are in the right place. Are you having that savings, or are you even in a position where you can share what do you say save that 1 crore rupees in 1 year starting from today? And if you don't, then you have to do either of the two things. One is you cut down on your goals, right? Or you make yourself so capable that you are able to achieve those goals that you've decided for yourself. Now that gives you clarity, right? Agree, disagree?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So until and unless you have that number defined, see, it may change over a period of time, which is okay. But until and unless there is a certain number that you have set for yourself, there is a certain number of mathematics that you can, do with the number. It is very difficult for you to look at, and that is what I'm saying. So your one big thing is something that really matters to you. Your one big thing largely, you could define in terms of the amount that you want to save or have as a bank balance at the time of your retirement. And trust me, this is one of the biggest thing that you can look at and work backwards, right? All the decisions, all the career what do you say steps that you will take at this point of time right now will all depend upon what you have decided as a final goal. Like I said, if it is 10 crores in 10 years, you divide it by 10, you will get 1 crore per year. Now, if 1 crore is something that you are not in the position to save right now, which means something different has to be done. And what is that something different? You will start taking big steps if that is something that you really truly desire. And those big steps will make all the difference. And that is why that big thing is very, very important, right? It's not about your career goals. It is not about the small things that you want to achieve in your career. Promotion, salary hikes, getting a career transition, getting a great job, or getting a dream job. All these come secondary when you have your you have had your big thing set. Now, what happens usually is people set their small term goals. So 1 year. So next year I want a promotion. Next year I want a salary hike. Next year I want to do this. And what happens as a result of that is, people are only thinking from the immediate next step perspective. What happens because of that is there is a conflict between your long term goals, what is it that you want to achieve in the long term, as compared to what you have to do today. So there all that conflict always will be there, and because of that conflict being there, it is going to be difficult for you to take steps right now. You will end up putting in a lot of efforts and eventually not get those results. So the strategy number one is that you need to have your one big thing really defined very, very well, so that it is easy for you to get to that place where you want to be, eventually, right? So long term thinking, a long term planning is very, very important. I'll give you a very simple example. Okay, let's say you want to go for a vacation, right? And if you are going for a vacation, what's the first thing that you always do? Your first thing is that you think of a destination, right? You don't think, okay, what is my first, or how will I travel, start traveling, right? Unless you are thinking of a aimless road trip, but even then you will still think of that, probably I'll go in this direction. That is still a direction which is there. So always you think of a destination, but in terms of our career, are we thinking of the destination? We don't have a destination in mind. We think that, okay, let's try this. If this works, great. If we will go there. If this doesn't work, probably we will try something else, and we'll keep trying, keep experimenting, and keep navigating our way. That's not a great way, or to look at your career. That is not a great way to achieve big things in your life, or big breakthroughs that we're talking about. See, please understand, what got you here is that you wanted to have breakthroughs in your life, or breakthroughs in your career. See, if you wanted to have a 10% growth, I'm sure you wouldn't have attended or even wanted to look at this particular webinar. You looked at this particular webinar primarily because you wanted to have a breakthrough, and breakthrough is a big thing that you want to achieve, right? So it's important for you to understand that if you are working with a short term mentality, or a what's the next thing kind of a mentality, it's going to be difficult for you to achieve breakthroughs. So please remember that. Okay, so that's the first thing, that's the first strategy. The second strategy is, and uh, uh, you know um, this is something which is very, very important, and especially in the current situation that we are in, because most of us are working remotely. Most of us are not seeing our colleagues on an everyday basis. Okay, and especially our bosses, we are not meeting on the everyday basis. So it's important for you to understand that the next thing is very, very important in the current scenario. Okay. The second thing that I'm going to be talking about, or the second strategy, is managing perceptions. Now, a lot of times what happens is, the traditionally people look at that, okay, I'll keep putting in the hard work. Someday my manager will recognize. Someday he will give me a promotion. I know I'm putting in a lot of effort. I know that, there is my manager will definitely recognize that there's an effort that is going in. It is seen, right? All of these statements, or all of these beliefs, if you have had, trust me, it is of no use, because people will see what you have to show them. I'll give you a very simple example. Okay, if you have kids, if you're married, or if you have if you are into a relationship or whatever. Okay, so let's say, for example, how many times are you really aware of, so the closest person that is to you, how much are you really aware of what is happening in that person's life for 24 hours, for the entire day? Can you ever be aware of each and every minute thing that is happening in your the most dearest person's life on a minute to minute basis? Is it possible? Yes, no, maybe. You can type in the chat box. Come on, yes or no? It's a very simple question. Okay, Gopinath says no. It was difficult. See, how are you expecting your manager, your bosses, or others to even um, know what you are doing in those 8 hours or whatever more than 8 hours you spend at office or working from home, if that is what we are doing right now? How does your manager know? At office it was difficult. Now it is work from home, remote working. It is going to be even more difficult. So your manager is going to see what you are going to show the manager, right? Please understand that. And this is a reality everywhere. It is all about what you are trying to show, right? Your perceptions are your reality. So your manager's perceptions is also going to be a reality, right? So the manager is going to believe what he or she sees. So it's important for you to understand that you have to do something which will tell the manager that yes, I am doing this kind of work, or I am producing these kind of results, and only then it will be easy for the manager to understand and recognize you. There are no two things about it. Okay, so please understand, managing perceptions becomes an extremely crucial strategy in the world of today, and especially when we are facing tough times and we are working remotely. Okay, very very important for people to understand. With me, everybody? Yeah. Okay. Let me go to the strategy number 3. The strategy number 3 is create value. Now, people who lost their jobs or people who have not been able to grow, this is a very very crucial factor for in fact everybody whoever is here in this webinar today, because they are looking for breakthroughs. Now, one of the best ways of getting breakthroughs is to create value. And for creating value, you have to look up, you have to look around for opportunities. These opportunities are not going to come to you. And I mean, nobody's going to tell you that, oh, you know what, there's an opportunity for you to create value here. So you take this opportunity, grab this opportunity, and start looking at doing things or creating value. So I'll give you a very simple example. And in when I told you, right, I got 2 consecutive promotions. So this is one of my personal stories that I would like to share. So I was heading the campus recruitments in the previous organization that I was working. And when we do campus recruitments, there's one very important thing that I noticed. When we go for campus recruitments, the people whom we don't select, okay, so those people whom we don't hire, we take like hundreds of interviews. Out of those hundreds of interviews, we probably select 25, 30 of them. And so those people who have not been shortlisted, all their papers, we get it back to the office. And what we do is we keep them for about 3 to 6 months and eventually thrash them, because they are of no use to us. It's just nothing but a pile of garbage which is lying in the office. But I thought differently. Now, what I thought is, how about you know not bringing this back, because anyways it's going to be of no value to us. How about giving it back to them? And when we give it back to them, we give them back with some qualitative comments which will help them improve on their skills, or improve or let them at least know or make them aware of what they lacked right now so that they can work on it. And that's what I started doing. So I had with that I was able to hit 2 birds with a stone. Number one, I had a check on all the interviewers, because the interviewers couldn't really then look at doing the interviews for the sake of doing the interviews. The interviewers had to write 3 points which were good about them, 3 points which they thought should be improved. And this feedback went to them as a formal feedback from the organization to them, to the students who did not clear the interviews. For those who cleared, we didn't give them any feedback. It came back to us, we gave them the offer letter. But for those people who were not shortlisted, we started giving them the feedback. And you know what happened with that? uh, After a few months, we started getting so many emails from people saying that, oh, you know what, this was one of the best interview processes. This is, we got to know what our weaknesses are. We got to know where we lack. We worked on those, and we were eventually able to get selected in some other organization. Okay, not even in the same organization, some other organization, and they were very happy about it. They gave us the feedback as an organization. They gave their institution a feedback that this is working very well for them. So what happened as a result is we became a preferred recruiter in those colleges. And because we had become preferred recruiter, we got a lot of recognition. There was a lot of pat on the back that we got. As a result, my manager recognized this effort. As a result, my management also recognized this effort. And there was no other choice, but in the next promotion cycle, they promoted me. Now, did I do a very big thing? No. What I did was a very small thing. It was just a small thought where it started. It is just that you have to look at it from that perspective. If you're able to look around, see what happens is a lot of times we are busy working. And if you remember, I talked to you about one of those lessons of 2020. Slowing down is a superpower. When you slow down, what happens is you are able to look around. You are more aware of what is happening around you. It's easy for you to notice what is happening around you. And you always have a job or an assignment, come what may. It could be a difficult situation, it could be an easy situation. If you add value, you will always sleep with a full stomach. It's very important for you to note that, understand that, remember that. Okay, is it making sense, all of you? Are you able to relate to me, or you think that whatever I'm talking about is just way too theoretical, way too philosophical, and not practical in the real world? Thoughts? Come on, guys. We have some 8, 9 participants in the room. Can you? I would appreciate if you can talk. Okay, great. So only Gopinath says things. Otherwise, other people.
Amit, can you repeat the last point in the
Uh,
summarized way?
okay, in a summarized way. So, like I said, uh, you know, did you hear the story which I talked about, Manisha?
Yes, actually, the last line missed before the
Hmm.
summary.
Okay.
That is what
So
I'm
I'm
trying to check.
saying that if you are able to create value for people, and like I said, you don't have to do big things for you to be able to create value. I had in the beginning, probably you had not joined in at that point of time. I had talked about the learnings that I had from 2020, and one of the learnings that I talked about was slowing down is superpower. So if you slow down, you will be able to be more aware of what is happening around you. When you are able to be
Okay.
and
I missed your voice again.
Hello, Amit. I think I'm not able to hear you.
hello,
Hello. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
back
can
now.
everybody
now.
hear me? Can you quickly give me a thumbs up if you can hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Now we can hear you.
Okay, now everybody can hear me. Manisha, Gopinath.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. So let me quickly repeat the last statement that I just said. I'm saying that in the initial slides, I said I talked about the learnings from 2020, and one of the learnings that I talked about is slowing down is a superpower. So when you slow down, what happens is you are more aware of what is happening around you. When you're more aware of what is happening around you, you are able to spot opportunities which will help you get the breakthroughs or which will help you get ahead. So if you're able to encash on those opportunities, you create value for people. And when you create this value for people, there is no way that you will be out of job or you will be, not get recognized or not get promoted, right? So career breakthroughs is a definite thing if you are focusing on creating value rather than focusing on just personal, looking at your personal interests. Is that clear? Can I get a quick
Yeah,
thumbs
Amit.
up?
Yeah,
Okay,
Amit. Yeah,
great.
Amit. Right.
Thanks. So I am assuming that you are in concurrence with what I said, Manisha.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. All right. So I've talked about three strategies so far. The first strategy is your one big thing. The second strategy is managing perceptions. The third strategy is creating value. Now I'll go to the fourth strategy. The fourth strategy talks about leverage by influence. Now when I talk about influence, it's in today's world, especially, in and you know that, right? This is the world of influencers. In this world, in today's world, if you don't have influence or if you are not able to influence people, you will always, stay back or be put behind. You will not be able to have, I mean, you may have growth, but it will not be as fast as you want it to be, which essentially means you can't have breakthroughs, right? Breakthroughs means big things. Please remember that. So if you are not using your influence, if you are not leveraging, or you're not building your influence on people, you will always end up not having the breakthroughs. Now, what do I mean by influence? Influence has to be, is nothing but your ability to inspire, your ability to convince people to about your ideas, about your techniques, about your thoughts, and showcase that you have the capability. How do you influence? And by the way, when I talk about influence, it's influence is not just influence on your juniors or somebody else. We are talking about influence as a 360-degree influence. You should be able to influence your higher ups. You should be able to influence your peers. You should be able to influence your subordinates. So there are three tips that I'll give you. Number one is, uh, you need to help your subordinates level up. Now, when I talk about subordinates, subordinates is not somebody who's always reporting to you. Anybody, or there could be a set of people that who don't know as much as you do. So there will be certain set of skill sets or knowledge that you may have better than the others, and and those people who do not know that and you know it, you can treat them as subordinates. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to teach those people who don't know about it to be, or you're helping those people who need that help, right, to level up. So when you are able to do that, they are definitely going to be influenced by you because you help them. Very simple. All right. Now the second thing is you are talking about your peers, and how do your peers play a very important role? Is that if people, if your peers don't approve of you, somewhere it will show in their body language, which will be caught by your manager or somebody else who's a decision maker. So it's important for you to understand that your peers should also be vouching for you, and you need to have influence on them. So of course you need to have a healthy relationship with your peers, and give and take help. Very simple. The third is you need to have a very solid influence on your manager too. Now, when I talk about influence, there is a big difference between bootlicking and influence that I talk about. Okay. And one of the simplest things that you can do for you to be able to influence your manager is talk constantly, not just once, constantly keep talking about his or her expectations of you. Okay. What does he or she expect you to do? What does the align your goals with that of your manager? Understand what the manager's goals are, align yours with them, and trust me, that is one of the best ways to have influence, because you are helping your manager to grow, and the manager will in turn help you to grow. Simple, right? So that is how you have influence. So these are three simple strategies that I talked about, right? If you are able to implement these three simple strategies in your career in 2021, there is no way that you will be left behind. You'll always have those breakthroughs. Okay. So it's important for you to understand that leveraging by influence becomes very, very important. All right. Any questions? Any questions so far? Before I go to the last strategy?
No, nothing from my side.
Okay. Great. So I will go to the last strategy, and is one of the most important strategies which weaves all the four strategies together. Okay. That is creating a system. Now, um, let me give you an example once again. When we talk about, let's say, for example, you are watching a very crucial cricket match. Okay. And this in this cricket match, for some reason, the scoreboard is not working. Okay. Now, of course, it is a very rare thing to happen, or it doesn't happen usually. But let's assume that it happens. Now, if it happens, my question to you is: if you don't know what is the score, the match is going on, but you don't know what the score is. Would you be interested in seeing this match? Yes or no? Please type in the chat box and let me know what do you think. Would you want to see this match, which will not tell you the scores? Come on, guys, yes or no? Gopinath says no, but we'll wait. So you will wait for what, Gopinath? Can you please tell me? So Shrikant Nirupama says no.
Yeah, just maybe at that point of time there could be some problem. But since I'm going in that sense, maybe I'll come back and once the issue has been resolved, I'll wait
Okay.
till the issue is resolved.
Okay. Fine, you will wait. But what if for the entire match the scoreboard will not be displayed?
Then I may not be interested. Definitely I'll look for other modes where I can get the relevant information.
Okay, fair. So largely the answer is no, right? You don't want. I mean, even if you are sitting in front of the TV, we're hoping that some point of time I'll get to see the score, or some point of time things will be rectified. But till the point you are not able to see the score, are you going to enjoy the match? I'm sure the answer is no. Correct. So if the answer is no at that point of time, and most of you have said no, they will not even see the match, or probably switch to something else, right? Um, my question to you here is, why is it that the scores are so important in a match? Why can't you? I mean, why can't you just watch it as a friendly match and just enjoy it? Anybody would like to give an answer? You can unmute yourself and talk. No problems.
I think that's where we will come to know what's the result of the match.
Absolutely. You want to know the result of the matches because it's a match, right? It is about winning or losing. You need to know who is winning, who's losing. But now relate this to your real life. Okay, relate this to your career, and tell me, do you know what is the score in your career? Do you know whether you are winning or losing? Do you know how you are performing? Do you know where you are going wrong? Do you know what needs to change? That is a very, very crucial question for you to ask yourself. What happens is, most of the times, we are playing the match of our career without knowing what the score is, without knowing whether we are winning or losing. And that is where most of us fail to have breakthroughs, right? I have done the same mistakes. Trust me, right? We think, that hard work someday will pay off. We think that, my manager has given me this work. I'm supposed to do this work. So yes, I will do this, and my manager, will eventually promote me. Manager will take a notice and start doing things. But let me help you understand one thing, right? You know,
Siddharth brush kar le.
yeah. So let me help you understand one very important thing here. That until and unless you know the score, and that is precisely why you need a system. A system is nothing but, it is a way in which, or a way in where people keep the score for you, keep you accountable, and ensure that you win. Okay, so if you look at now, scoreboard in a match is a indication of your performance, but behind that performance there is a lot of things that is going on. So every cricketer, every player has a coach. That coach is working towards the performance of the team, at the performance of that player, the performance of the overall performance that is going to be there. So that's a coach. Also, there are multiple other people who are a part of this. Okay. Now, this could be a part of that could be part of their own individual families who sacrifice a lot of things. There could be their friends. There could be the social circle. There are multiple people who are contributing to making that winning happen, right? And the scoreboard is a reflection of that, correct? So it's important for us to understand that we need to have a set of people, such set of people in our lives, so that we are able to have those breakthroughs in our careers. Now, largely what happens is we always are on our own. We do not believe, we think it's my career, I will navigate it. We think it's, everything has to be done with me. It is my decision. What I want to do with my career is going to be all, let me do this and let me try this. I'll have to figure it out. I will have to go through this. Only then I am going to be able to get ahead in my life, in my career. Trust me, that was the old way of thinking. Because in the old way of thinking, what used to happen is, so I'll give you a classic example. My father, after he finished his engineering, he got into a government job. He stayed there for like 20, 25, 30 years nicely, retired from there, and ultimately, because he gets a pension, everything happens and all of that. Now, why did that happen is primarily because there was somebody else who was doing the planning for them, right? When you got into a government job, the government job took care of your pensions after retirement. So retirement planning was done. Your other things that are required. So there were facilities that were given to you when you were in the job. So there were multiple things. So there were government quarters for you to stay. There were education largely was kind of helped in. So a lot of planning, a lot of other things were taken care of, and that is why you were able to do it. But today that doesn't happen, right? Even in the government jobs today, that kind of facilities are not there, right? The way it used to happen earlier. So now it is all up to us to plan. Now everything cannot be managed by you. Please understand that. If you rely on only on your own understanding, your own decisions at all points of time, you are bound not to have those breakthroughs in your career. You need to have a foolproof system, and that is why I say this last strategy weaves everything together. Okay, I will share with you. So Deepa, here's on your screen what you wanted. Here are those 5 strategies, and I put it into a formula which will help you understand the reality of that breakthroughs, how they are going to happen. So we talked about 5 strategies. Number 1 is your one big thing. So 1, into MP, that is manage perceptions, into CV, that is create value, into LI, that is leverage by influence. Now, if you look at all of these, there is a multiplication. So if you miss out on any one of these strategies, so let's say, for example, you have a very clear long-term goal, okay, or a very clear, one big thing defined. It is shared, Deepa. I have always been sharing my screen all the time. Okay. So I'm assuming you can see the screen, everyone. Can you let me know if you are not able to see it? Okay, great. So now what I was saying is, if you look at the formula, it is a multiplication. It's a product of these four strategies that we talked about. So if you don't do any one of them, so let's say for example, your first, you have figured out what you want in the long term, but let's say you are not looking at managing perceptions. One of those are the other two things you are doing. Now, MP, the score will be zero, and it will take the whole effort to zero. You get the point? Moreover, the system that we talked about, the last point or the last strategy system, if you look at it is race to this product. So let's say, for example, if you have, you know, if you have one person to help you out, okay, or if you are doing it all by yourself, when it is raised to one, okay, the answer to the equation that you get is going to be the same product. So whatever effort you put in, but let's say you have just one more person to help you, that is two people together, you and somebody else. Okay, so when you square this number, you will get, you know uh, what do you say, you that multiplies, not it does not double, it multiplies by the number that you are looking at, right? So it is a square of the number, and that is what is the impact that you will have in your career as such. uh, are you able to understand? Is there a confusion? If there are any questions, I would be more than happy to take those questions. Go ahead. Any questions? Deepa, Manisha, Gopinath, Shrikant, Partha.
Can you elaborate more, a little bit more?
uh, can you please repeat that? I didn't get you.
Can you elaborate it a bit more?
What I'm saying is, all these strategies that we just talked about, okay, I have just put it into a formula, right? That's clear. So the formula is 1 into MP. One, there's your one big thing.
Okay.
Second, MP is manage perceptions. CV is create value, and LI is leverage by influence. Okay, so these are the first four strategies that we talked about, and this formula is for career breakthroughs. So career breakthroughs can happen when you have, or you're working on all of these four strategies together. Okay, let's say you don't do one of these strategies. Okay, let's say you have your big goal defined, but let's say you are not managing perceptions. You are not doing anything specifically to manage perceptions. You are not doing anything specifically to showcase that you are capable of doing something, right? In that scenario, the value of MP will become zero because you're not doing anything. Agree? Yeah.
Agree.
Now, if you multiply, okay, so
Mm.
let's say, for example, other things are, let's say on a scale of 10, you are at 9 or 8 or 7 or whatever it is on the other factors. So let's say 9 into 0 into, let's say 8 into 8. Okay, the resultant is 0 because you're
Mm.
not working on one of those factors. Make sense? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that is what I was
Right.
trying to say. Now,
Okay.
that's about the things which are in the bracket. Now, the last strategy that I talked about, which is the strategy part of it, if you've seen, it is raised to the whole product. Okay, so let's say, for example, okay, anything. So whatever you do, let's say, for example, if you are the only person working on this, okay, all right. So let me type in this in the chat box. Let's say, for example, you have figured out your one big thing. Okay, I'll give you a score of 9 on a scale of 10. Okay, because you have figured it out, you kind of know what it is. You are taking steps to manage your perceptions, and let's say you are on a 8, on a scale of 10 on managing perceptions. On creating value also, you are on a 8 on a scale of 10. And on leverage by influence, you are influencing people, and that is happening. That is also happening on a scale of 8 on a 10 in your career. So this is what is happening. Okay, 9 into 8 into 8 into 8. But it's only you who is putting in the effort. So only one person. So the system consists of only one person, that is you. So this formula raised to 1 is going to be the product itself. So whatever you get as a result of 9 into 8 into 8 into 8 is going to be the same. But let's say, okay, so let me just calculate this for you. Okay. Okay, so this is 4608. This is for calculation purposes. 4608 is what you get. Now 4608 raised to the power 1 is going to be 4608. But let's say, for example, one additional person helps you in achieving your career goals. Okay, so then this 4608, it is not into 2, it is into 4608, and that is the result that you get. Does that make sense to you now?
Okay.
Yeah. And imagine if you have 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, imagine the output or the result that you will get as the effort of combined this thing. I'll tell you where this concept is coming from. If you have read the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he talks about one very important concept of a mastermind. He says that when two minds come together, okay, there is a third mind which gets created, which is called as a mastermind, and it is capable of doing beyond what the two people combined can, or two brains together can do. And that is why it is called as a mastermind, because it's able to achieve a lot more. And that is what we are trying to, that is what I'm trying to showcase you in this particular formula. If you are only working on your career by yourself, then chances of you getting the success is going to be slow. But if you are going to work together with 2, 3, or 4 people, then it is going to be easy for you to achieve that success, and in multifold. Am I making sense to all of you? Yes, no, maybe. Can you give me a yes or no in the chat box? If there are questions, I'll be more than glad to answer those questions. So please ask me those questions. Yeah, so Gopinath, we have understood theoretically, practically also works the same thing. Okay, I just got into a little bit of theory to help you understand how it works. Okay, practically how it works, I'll tell you. Okay, Deepa, managed perceptions is about letting people know what you are capable of. So your work that you do is not going to speak for itself. That's a wrong assumption, that whatever work that you do is going to speak for itself, and your manager some point of time will recognize it and give you a promotion. So that is a old school of thought. You will have to tell the manager, or you will have to showcase it to the manager, what work you are doing and how it adds value to the whole scheme of things, so that the person is able to understand what you are capable of. And that is what is managing perceptions. Okay, so thanks for asking that question. Any other question? Any other thoughts? Any other things that you might have not understood? Any other points you want me to clarify before I go ahead and I talk to you about the 4 pillars of success? Okay, great. So I will move on to the next slide. And the next slide I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to cover the 4 pillars of success. Since now that you understood these 5 strategies, there are these 4 pillars which will help you, and these are kind of interrelated to the strategies that I'm talking about. I'm just taking that strategies to a next level. So what are these 4 pillars? The first pillar is better tribe, better vibe. Very, very simple. And this is something which you always must know and learn. You are a product of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? This is something which everybody every time has been telling you. So if you want to get ahead in your career, if you want to get the breakthroughs in your career, you will have to associate yourself with somebody who's got those breakthroughs. Very simple, right? You cannot get breakthroughs by staying with people, those who keep cribbing about, oh, you know what, I'm so overburdened with work. There are no openings in the market. This is a very bad time that is going on. If you are surrounded with those kind of people, trust me, you are going to get the same kind of results, because you are going to start thinking exactly the same way. Your mind gets conditioned by what you see around, or what people tell you, or what people talk about, uh, the people that you are with, right? It's important for you to understand that. So if you want to get breakthroughs in your career, the first pillar is that you will have to change your company. You have to be, so I'm not saying abandon your friends, I'm not saying abandon those people who you have always been with, but consciously also choose to be with those people who have breakthroughs, or who are able to do better than you. If you're able to do that, trust me, you will see the difference in the next 3 to 4 months, because you will start thinking in that perspective. You will start thinking from their perspective. Please understand. Okay. Manage perceptions. When I talk about, it's this, like I said, your perceptions are your reality. Right now, when you're staying with those people who say that there are no opportunities, you have made your perception that there are no opportunities in the market, correct? And that is what is pulling you backward. So it's important for you to understand, if you want to have better results, you have to vibrate at a better frequency. And for you to be able to vibrate at a better frequency, you have to have or associate yourself with a better tribe. You need to change to those set of people. Okay, you need to hang around with those set of people. That's number one. Number two, okay, is responsibility. Okay, what do I mean by that? I'm not talking of responsibility. Responsibility definitely is something that you probably have heard or known of. But I'm saying you also have a responsibility. Now, what a responsibility means is that you have an ability to respond to a certain situation. So if something is not working for you right today, okay, it is your response which will decide what will happen to you tomorrow, right? That is how it works. So let's say, for example, if you are looking at opportunity in adversity, if you're looking at opportunity in, okay, you know what, um, because of whatever scenario that we are in, I think there is a better opportunity. Like I said, like I gave you my own example. I looked at an opportunity where there was no opportunity. Every other organization in the campus recruitments, they were not giving this feedback. I could have chosen to do the same thing. It would have been easy for me to just say, oh, you know what, this is how the world works. But if I choose a different response, I will get a different result, right? I chose to have a different response. Now, I did not know whether it's going to work or not work at that point of time. But it's important for you to try that out. And when you try that out, it will be easy for you to understand whether it's working or not working, right? And if it works, that is going to be your breakthrough moment. Okay, so responsibility is something that you have as a superpower. You need to always choose a different response. If you choose the same response, you'll get the same result. So if you want a different result, you'll have to choose a different response. At least make an attempt to have a different response, and that will make the difference. And accountability. When I say accountability, okay, this relates to the first part. The first part I told you, better try, better vibe. These people, if you are hanging around with a better set of people, or people who have had their breakthroughs, these people will hold you accountable. These people will go behind you and say, oh, you know what, why are you not doing this? Why are you not trying this out? Why are you not giving it a different, looking at it from a different perspective? Why are you not taking the effort in this direction rather than keeping on doing whatever you have been doing all this while? If these people get behind you, there are large chances that you will do it. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to be an accountability partner for you. They are helping you be more accountable for your own actions, and that is what I talk about accountability as a pillar, right? The third is continuous improvement. I told you one of the learnings that I had. The learnings I said, if others have to invest in you, you will have to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, others will not invest in you, right? So continuously you will have to invest in yourself, and you can't expect that, no, you know what, my organization will take care of it. No, it will not happen. Today's world, you will have to decide what you want and what is it that you want to learn. You can't wait for organization, your manager to nominate you for a training program, then you learn something, then something else. And please remember, all the time, whenever your organization is doing something for you, it is doing out of their own interest. So they will nominate you for the skills or the programs that they will benefit from. If they don't see a benefit, they will not nominate you. Correct? So for you, so they're not thinking from your perspective; they're thinking from their perspective. It's important for you to think from your perspective. What happens to you? What works best for you? And you will have to start investing in yourself. If you are able to invest in yourself and commit to the continuous improvement, so if you invest in yourself, others will invest in you for sure. And the last is a guiding light, right? So you know what a lighthouse does. A lighthouse is it guides the ships, right? Now imagine if the lighthouse is not there, what would happen? The ships will not find their way through. And that's exactly what probably a coach can do for you. A coach will act as a guiding light. A coach has been there, done that. Is interacting with multiple people to understand, what they are facing as problems, challenges. So a coach in today's world, especially in the career, is a must. And especially in the tough times, if you are not having a coach, you don't have a person who can even like I said, even one person who gets associated with you in your system, it is easy for you to double, or not double, it is to square the results that you are getting, right? And that is what a coach can do for you. Okay, so these are the four pillars. Any questions about these four pillars? Do you all agree, not agree? And you don't have to agree just because I'm saying. You could disagree to whatever I have said. That's perfectly fine, right? So let me know, what are your thoughts. You can unmute yourself if you want to talk. No problems. Manisha, any thoughts from your side?
Amit,
Yes.
yes, Amit, can we have a slide of the four pillars you just mentioned?
It is
Can
there
you
on
show
the
us the
screen.
slide?
It is there on the screen.
Okay, okay. Let me see. Now it is on the screen, right?
Okay. Yeah. So these are the four pillars. Great. So if you want to take a snapshot, you can take it. No problems. Go ahead. All right. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any experiences or things that you would like to share?
Yeah, you are very true with what you are saying. I completely resonate with the
Mm.
things you just mentioned.
Great.
I
Thank
must
you.
say, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Gopinath, Mahinder, Shrikant?
Yeah, I mean, having a coach, I mean, exactly not what you meant, I understood, but having coach to grow the career, I think I never thought or I never heard in this direction about the
Mm.
career. So it's a new thought for me.
So I'll give
So
you
maybe,
a classic example.
mm,
Every what do you say? Yeah, people have not thought about having coaches in their careers, but if you look at all the big performers, right, all the best players, if it's
mm,
cricket or any other sport, they have a
mm,
coach. If you want to really build your six packs, you have to have everybody has a personal coach. That's when you go to the gym. Now if you look at most of the people at the senior levels, they have a coach, right? They have multiple coaches, in fact. So somebody could be there for performance, somebody else could be for doing different things in their life that they want. So they actually have multiple coaches. And that is why, see, all the people who are successful in their life, they are successful because of their coaches. Number one. Number two is that they, you know, the coaches make them even more successful. So they help them get those breakthroughs. Like I said, you know, two people working together, it creates a mastermind, and that mastermind is something which is going to help you get ahead much faster, because um, the kind of breakthrough strategies that you will generate together when you are working, when you're co-creating it, they're far better than one person working on it, and that's the difference that you will always have. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Great. So here's a quick recap of the five strategies that I just talked about, and that is here on your screen. Uh, that is, the first is your one big thing: manage perceptions, create value, leverage by influence, and then create a system of these four strategies, of the first four strategies that we talked about. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So having said this, you know, these five strategies that I talked about, now trust me, I can keep talking about these strategies, because these strategies something that I have worked with my coaching clients, and I have really, you know, got them huge you know, breakthroughs in their careers. All right. So I'll you know, stop sharing my screen for a moment, and you know, I would want to talk to you about, you know, the breakthroughs that I have created for a few people. I told you, you know, I have been able to help somebody get a double promotion. So there's a person called as Atul Rakshe who works as a project manager. He was long term due for his promotion, and he was not able to get it, come what may. Right? He was putting in a lot of effort. This person, okay, when he approached me, I helped him, you know, follow this exact formula, the strategies that I just talked about, and he was able to get a double promotion and a 60% salary hike. That too, this promotion that he got was an out of cycle promotion. He did not get it in the regular this thing. He did not have to wait for the next cycle to get that. See, it is all about you talking about it, you managing that perception. When you are able to manage that, you know, tell the person, tell the world that yes, you are capable of doing things, and create that perception, show that you can create it, and then eventually influence people. It is easy for people to, you know, believe you and give you more opportunities and more responsibilities. The other person that I would want to talk about is, there's a person called as Jitendra Mittal. This person was a person who was jobless for 3 long years. He's a banking professional. For 3 long years, he was not able to get a job. When he approached me, I said, okay, if you're not getting a job, stop looking for a job. Very simple, right? Because until and unless if you're looking in the wrong direction, if you're not moving into the right direction, you are always not going to have your breakthroughs. So it's important for you to understand that there is a different strategy that you'll have to apply. So first, pause. Let's assess your situation. We assess the situation, and I helped him with the strategy. Of course, this is a larger framework, but I helped the person personalize the strategy for the job search that he wanted to do. And within 3 months, in fact, he was at a stage where he was saying that, you know, even if I get a pay cut because I want to, you know, feed my family, I really want, even if I get a pay cut, I'm willing to do it. But in 3 months after I coached him, he was able to not just get a job, but he got about 25-30% more than what he was looking for. Okay. What he was looking for was actually much lesser, because he was ready to take a pay cut as compared to his last salary draw. But I'm saying 20%, 25% more than what he was drawing last. So almost like a 50% more than what he was expecting. Okay. So that is something that you need to look at. This is one thing. And like I said, like I told you in the beginning, I have implemented these strategies in my corporate career, and I have got 2 promotions in 2 consecutive cycles. It's possible. In fact, there's another person called as Neha Agarwal, who runs a Lean group. Okay, and she read my book. I have a book called as Double Promotion, Half the Effort, where I talk about these strategies. In a month after reading the book and implementing these strategies, she was able to get a promotion in a month. and that is the thing. So I have a testimonial put up on the LinkedIn also. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to quickly now, having said whatever I have said, share with you a program that I have, because like I said, in a webinar like this, I can only scratch the surface and tell you, what the overall strategy looks like. But you need to really get those results, you need to practice, you need to get into each of these deeper, and like I said, score a 10 on 10 on each of those strategies, so that you are able to get these breakthroughs that I am talking about. So let me quickly share my screen, and on the screen what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share with you a page on my website which I talk about. I am assuming everybody can see my screen. Yes, no, maybe. Can I have a quick thumbs up? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So it talks about a program called as Career Breakthroughs in 30 Days. This is a program which I have created keeping in mind the current scenario. See, this is a formula. The framework largely remains the same, but there are going to be minor differences because we are in a completely different situation right now, and that is what is something that we need to take into consideration also. So it's important for you to understand that this is a program tailor-made for breakthroughs for you in 2021. Taking into consideration the learnings that we have had, keeping in mind the 5 strategies and the pillars of success that I just talked about. Okay. So what is going to happen is I will take you through this, and these are probably the challenges that you might be facing, and you can look at these. I mean, you can, of course, I'll share the link to this page, because that is where you will meet the scene. Now, like I said, so this is the first person that I talked about, Atul Rakshe. He is the person who has got a double promotion, 60% salary hike. Gaurav Maheshwari is a fresher. So, okay, by the way, these strategies will work irrespective of the experience that you have. If you are just beginning in your career, or if you have like 10 years, 15 years experience in your career, these strategies will always work. These are like evergreen strategies which will always work. Okay, so he's a fresher who has been able to get multiple job placements, and it is important to note that he was one of the highest paid or placement holder in his college. So he got a package of 25 lakhs from a company, from a banking company that he got placed in. Finally he accepted that. He had 7 offers. So where people struggle to get one offer, and especially and by the way, he's from this recent batch, 2019 batch, who was looking for a job in 2020, and looking forward to get placed in the same. So during the pandemic, he was able to get a job worth 25 lakhs as a fresher starting out. Okay. Now there are multiple experienced people I see struggling to get that kind of a salary. Okay. Jitendra Mittal, I just talked about. Kalpa is another lady who I have coached. Also, if you go down, there are multiple video testimonials of the people who have attended this, earlier. So what I'm talking about primarily is these are the wins that I will help you understand. Help you get a career clarity. I will help you craft a story for your career. Okay. I will help you improve your value by creating value. I will help you improve your influence, create a system, and ensure that you get those breakthroughs. And moreover, I will also ensure that you don't have setbacks eventually. Because it is not about you dealing with this scenario right now. It is about being prepared for scenarios that could eventually come in, right? So, like, nobody expected the pandemic to happen. Nobody expected this kind of a situation to happen, but it came. And such kind of adverse situation can always happen in your career also. So you need to be prepared for that. And how do you prepare for that is something that I'm going to give you in this. So how does it work is 4 weekly sessions. The first 4 sessions are where I am going to help you with all these strategies. So one by one, these strategies will be done for you. The first 4 sessions are 2-hour sessions, not 1-hour sessions. These are 2-hour sessions where I help you, give you a lot of give you a deep dive into all those 5 strategies that we talked about. You will create a personalized strategy for yourself that works. Then there are 4 follow-up sessions once in a month, which I personally follow up with you. I help you understand your problems, your concerns, and then after that there are eight monthly accountability sessions. So total of 16 sessions is what I am looking at doing in this particular program. With that, what happens is you are covered for almost a year. You have a support of almost a year, right? And these are your wins in the program. Like I said, these are the 5 strategies we just talked about. I'm going to give you each and every strategy in detail. The one thing: manage perceptions, create value, leverage by influence, create a system, and then monthly follow-ups, like I told you. This will ensure, and moreover, this is one of the pillars that I'm talking about. The 4th pillar is I coaching you. But there are also the 3 pillars which automatically get associated with you. Why? Because you are getting associated with those people who have got these breakthroughs, number 1. Number 2 is that you have these accountability sessions. So responsibility and accountability that we talked about. And the third is you are investing in yourself so that others are able to invest in you. So all these 4 pillars are kind of interwoven in this particular program that I'm talking about. So these are the video testimonials. You can have a quick look at this. These are people talk about. So here's this one person, Prashant, okay, who attended my session 2 years back, and he was able to make a career transition and start his business. Today, when he started, he was earning about 5 lakh rupees a month. Today, he's gone from 5 to 10 lakh rupees a month. So that is the power of these strategies that I'm talking about. Okay, so there are multiple people who have already talked about it, and you can at leisure check this out. Now the regular investment. So if you go to my website and see the actual investment, I usually charge 40,000 rupees for 3 months of coaching. But here I am going to give you a year-long support. And this year-long support, this program, I initially was looking at a regular investment of 19,999. Trust me, the value of this is more than that. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. By investing, if this 20,000 rupees, if you are able to get a salary hike of 2 lakh rupees, I think it's a worth investment, right? Yeah. So 20,000 rupees, if you look at, is easy. I'm sure it's going to give you a breakthrough much bigger than that. So, by the way, it is not what I am looking at. For today's price, this is 7,000 only. That is 6,999 that you can pay and enroll for this course. Okay, this is a very limited time offer. All right, and because you are attending this webinar only for those people who have sincerely been here till this. Okay, and for you to make the payment, this is the same URL that I am sharing with you. I would want you all to go ahead and enroll for this course. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions to be asked, please let me know. I'll be more than glad to answer all your questions. Like I said, you are going to get 4 personal sessions of strategies, 4 sessions as follow-ups, and 8 accountability sessions which happen. It is a year-long support with a community who has got the breakthroughs. So who all are game, who all are interested, and if there are any questions, like I said, I'm here to sort those questions out.
Amit,
Yes.
can you repeat the number of sessions you will be giving once somebody starts with you
Okay.
on the coaching?
I will show it to you once again. These are the sessions. Okay, 4 sessions. Okay, the first 4 sessions are 2 hours each, not 1 hour. 2 hours each, where we talk about these strategies in detail. Okay, so you create a strategy, you take the strategy, understand it, and you create a personal strategy for yourself. That's the first set of 4 sessions. Then what happens is the next 4 sessions, I follow up. That is, the follow up happens by me. When I say the follow up is by me, of course, in the next 8 sessions also I'll be there. But these 4 sessions, I lead the follow up. So I coach you to better your strategies, understand what is working with you, what is not working with you, what are the challenges that you're facing. If there are any challenges, how you can better it. All of that happens by me. Then there are 8 monthly accountability sessions where I am a part of it, definitely, but there are other people who are a part of this group where you will interact with each other and become each other's accountability partner, where I facilitate the session. Okay, so I am definitely going to be a part of it, but it is going to be a more of facilitation and an accountability. You can also find a personal accountability partner from the set of people who you are interacting with. That is also okay, where you can take those sessions together offline. That is also perfectly fine. But these group accountability calls that we have, accountability sessions that we have, it helps you understand what everybody is facing, and you get to learn from others' mistakes. And that is also important in today's world, where you get to understand, okay, this is not working because I did this thing. So the others also do not repeat the mistake, and that is why we have these accountability sessions as group sessions.
Okay.
Plus,
So,
you can reach out to me at any time on WhatsApp. Yeah.
Amit, if I'm able to understand correct, please tell me.
Mm-hmm.
You, in all, there will be 13 months. It is a 13 months program.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So 13 months you continuously get that support. And for 13 months, if you have to look at the costs that you're talking about, 7,000, it's like hardly what? 500 rupees a month? And like I said, all these things are mentioned on the webpage that I have shared the link for. You can go check it out and you can enroll.